Okay, let's have a sesh on competitive pricing, being one of those pricing strategies. Competitive pricing is when a business charges in a similar price range to its rivals, to its competitors. Now, situations where you would frequently use competitive pricing. Well, number one, when there's lots of rivals in the market. You have lots of competitors, so you're forced to be competitive with your price. And number two is when your rivals have a very similar good or service to you. All the goods are, and the word is, homogeneous. All the goods or services are similar. Now, situation one and situation two is usually seen in a competitive market structure. And if you're concerned with this, please check out my competition video. So a competitive market structure, when you've got lots of rivals in the market and many of the goods are quite similar, will force competitive pricing. Now, also, there is a situation where you have increased information transparency. And what I mean by that is that it's easy for customers to compare prices. And when it's easy for customers to compare prices, it will force competitive pricing between businesses. Now, the growth of technology through e-commerce has allowed websites like Money Supermarket. And Money Supermarket is easy for customers to compare prices. It's exactly how it works. And those types of websites have increased information transparency. And that's why we've seen in insurance firms the increased use of competitive pricing. And some of these will operate in an oligopoly market where there's a few big firms. So this market structure has now been impacted probably because of the increase in technology and information transparency. Now, the pros of competitive pricing. Basically, why do it? The main reason is to protect your market share. By having competitive pricing, you are protecting your market share. And if you protect your market share, you're likely to have a stable customer base. And if you have a stable customer base, you'll have consistent profits. And hopefully you'll have consistent cash flow. All fantastic things that a business wants to have. The disadvantages why you may not want to do competitive pricing or things that you're just going to have to accept. Well, number one, it's likely that you'll have increased marketing costs. The reason is because particularly in this situation here, in a competitive market structure, well, you've got lots of rivals, all your goods are quite similar, and you're only competing on price. And you're all competing on a low price. So you might be forced to up your marketing to compete on something else other than price. Upping your marketing by doing sales promotions or buy one, get one free, for example. All that increases your costs. So you increase your marketing costs and therefore increase your total costs. The other reason, number two, is that you need to make sure when you're doing competitive pricing is that you are not too focused and obsessed with what your rivals are charging for their price. You need to also bear in mind that your competitive pricing and the price that you charge is actually covering your own costs. Because if it's not covering your own costs, you are making a loss. It sounds stupid, but it's important. So it's important that your competitive price that you're offering actually covers your own costs. And number five is dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is a sophisticated version of competitive pricing. It's been commonly seen by Amazon in recent years, where they will update their prices based on their competition 24/7 throughout the day, and that allows them to protect their market share. Now, you could argue that Amazon are moving towards being a monopoly, so we're seeing this competitive pricing as well in these stages of the market structure continuum. Now, key thing to note with dynamic pricing is that dynamic pricing obviously requires heavy technology in order to allow you to be so sophisticated and update these prices continuously. And that will have massive initial costs. But obviously the reason why Amazon are doing it is, again, to protect that market share. Now, I hope that helps with your exam. Go out and smash it. Good luck.